friends, and welcome back to Stronger Every Day. Today we are going to talk about fighting depression in difficult times, and that is truly the hardest time to deal with it. Is when you're in the depths of it, when you're in the throes of it, when you're having maybe a panic attack, or you're having you've started to sink kind of down. I'm going to be very honest with you. I do not feel depression or anxiety today, but my sleep has been incredibly hard to come by. I sometimes am up till 1, 2, 3 in the morning, and then our herd of fur babies like to go out between 5:30 and 6 in the morning, so then I get up and let them out, and then I do try to lay back down some mornings, and I'll sleep from 6 to maybe 8 or 6 to 9 on a good day. And that's not healthy for you, for anyone, especially someone who has depression and anxiety, which you all kind of know that. So this is kind of talking to myself too a little bit. I am going to order some more. I personally have found what helps me sleep best is the Calm, I believe they're Calm Blueberry Gummies. If I find some here in a little bit, I can link them down below. I typically get mine on Amazon or Grove Collaborative, either one, and you just take, I think it's 2 or 3, it's been a while since I've taken them, I think it's 2 or 3 gummies you just take at night, and it helps me sleep. It helps me relax to fall asleep, and then it helps me to stay asleep a little bit longer. Now this does not get me 6 to 8 hours solid sleep, but it does make it better on days like today where I didn't sleep hardly at all last night, and then I still have life. You know, we still have life that we have to get up and take care of things and do our, be productive, and you know, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's going to a job or taking care of your children, or managing your garden, or managing your home, or managing your finances, or your whatever that looks like. But you know, you still have to be productive, and sometimes when you're just really tired, that can get really hard. And what that can lead to is, when you're not getting enough sleep, is you're drained, you have zero energy. And all of you who know, who have depression and anxiety and mental illness, know that that is the start of what can make you kind of plummet down. So I have been being very gracious with myself and just giving myself grace to not be upset about it. It is what it is, and to know that I need to probably go ahead and order those little Calm gummies and see if that can help make me feel better, because I don't want to hit a spiral and go down. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that with you, and I have a verse I want to read. It's Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. It's so important to reflect on the good things in life that lift you up. Now, I could focus on the fact that I'm tired. My arthritis has been flaring the past week. There was one day last week that I took some Tylenol, which is about the only thing I can take with my depression medicine. I took some Tylenol. I used some heating pads. I walked around the house to try to get my joints moving, and it was rough. I mean, it was a very rough, basically day and a half, where almost all my joints were hurting. My fingers, my hips, my knees, my elbows in particular, and my feet. I've had 3 surgeries on my feet, so there's some metal in both of my feet, and it was just kind of getting me. The weather here, I don't know if you know anything about Tennessee weather, but around Christmas, it got to 0 degrees and negative 25 wind chill. The next weekend, literally the next weekend, probably 5 days after, it was 68, I think, in the mid 60s somewhere. in there. So that's kind of where our weather is. Like last night, it frosted this morning when I got it to let the kids out. It was frosted and probably 31-ish, and already the sun's booming bright and it's probably 50-ish outside. So we fluctuate a lot, which doesn't help with arthritis, but it's recognizing that, okay, you're not feeling well, you're having some arthritis issues. Maybe your issues are different than mine, but me specific, having some arthritis issues. It's hard to use my hands at times, and then not sleeping, recognizing right then that I've got 2 factors that can potentially cause me to kind of start going down. So stopping it right there. So changing my mind and focusing, instead of my joints are hurting, I'm sore, I'm trying to take some Tylenol, I'm trying to do all these things, it's not working, I'm still feeling bad, now I can't sleep. You know where your mind goes. You just start, boom, you just pile it all on. You pile on things that happened a year ago, just not intentionally, but that's just where your mind goes when you have mental illness. Your mind is just different than other people's, and it goes to, you know, this, here we go again, this is going to happen again, I knew it. I knew I wasn't going to get better. I'm always going to be dealing with this. Life's never going to change. And that's all 1000% the devil throwing junk in your mind, because he wants you to derail. So what I can focus on is some really things that I think a lot of us take for granted. Do you see this behind me? This is my home. I have a home. I have heat and I have air. I have water. I have food. I have clothing that keeps me warm. You'll notice most of my outfits don't change. I like to be comfortable but presentable, and I wear a lot of sweatshirts in the winter and a lot of blue jeans all year round. I wear t-shirts. I'm just not big into dressing up, but I had nowhere to go today, but I got up. I took my time. I gave myself some grace. I got up, fixed my hair, which is put it in a bun. I don't get into all that either. I put on some makeup and decided to come in and go ahead and film this today, and then I've got some things I need to get done this afternoon. So instead of focusing on all the bad and all the negative, I'm pretty excited that when I am in pain, that I have availability to take a Tylenol, or I have availability to plug in my heating pad to give, I have electricity. I'm focusing on the things that I have. I have food in the refrigerator that, to be real honest with you, a few years back, we had nothing in our fridge. We had drinks, like, and I know it's bad for you, but this is I guess my vice. I am a big caffeine. I drink diet drinks, whether it be Diet Dr. Pepper or Diet Pepsi, whichever one's on sale. It's not the greatest for you, but I don't drink coffee. That's just kind of my thing. That's all we used to have in our fridge, is what I would drink and what Nick would drink. And we had a loaf of bread and we had a jar of peanut butter. And typically that was all we had for a long time. And we made it through because God provided, period. He opened up invitations from friends and family to come eat, and they had no idea, because we didn't tell anybody that we were in that bad of shape, but they had no idea. But God was working through them to invite us to dinner. Or when I was working at a doctor's office, I was an office manager for a doctor's office for 9 years. We would have sometimes reps bring, it wasn't necessarily a lunch, because I have been at offices where they brought a full lunch, but it would be like fresh bread and bagel or dessert type things. And it's always, God would use them when, like, I had passed on eating that day because my husband needed the meal. His job was more strenuous than mine, and he needed the energy. And it was always those days that it felt like God just said, okay, I see what's going on here, and you passed today, so I'm going to provide a way. Now, it wasn't every time. There were days that, you know, it was hard, but it's not that way right now. And so I can be thankful for that and change my mind to think about those things instead of dwelling on, I'm in pain. I'm not comfortable right now today. My elbows are hurting, my hands are hurting. It was really hard trying to get this set up. My knees are hurting. I'm sitting Indian style facing the window, and so that's causing a little bit of pain. My hips are hurting a little bit. I'm not going to focus on that. I'm not going to deny that it's there, right? I have arthritis. I'm having a pretty rough go of it right now, and I'm not sleeping well. I'm not going to deny that. It's always when you meet somebody and you're like, how are you doing? Oh, I'm fine. Praise the Lord. I'm fine. Well, I mean, you shouldn't dwell on the bad, but don't lie to people, you know, say, well, I'm having a little bit of a flare of some arthritis and a little bit of having trouble sleeping, but I'm still have good things to look forward to. And I think we just, and we've done it for years. You know, people would say, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Good, good. And I don't know if it's that we don't want to burden them, or that we want to hold a facade that we're stronger than, you know, that we're not weak. You're not weak because you have a problem. You're not weak because you have an issue. That's life. You have things that happen. You can be honest with each other. And I'm not saying advertise it to everybody that you walk past, but good friends and family, you can be honest with them. And that's something that we're learning and trying to focus more on, and just be honest and and communicate and speak things that we need to speak. So you need to understand that, think about, even if you can't think of anything good, think about something that's true. Think about something that it's not a problem, but it's a good thing. So if you were able to get up today in a home, you're blessed. If you were able to get in a vehicle and drive to work, you're blessed. Because you have a vehicle and you can afford gas for it, you're blessed. If you have one person in your life that you can turn to and run to, you're blessed. Focus on what is actually true instead of everything wrong that's going on. We have to control our minds, and it is 100% not easy in the beginning at all. I'm still in that process, and there's times. Last night I was sitting there thinking, I was rotating my heating pad, and I'd already taken my Tylenol, and I was kind of rubbing my legs in bed, and it was probably 1:30 in the morning, and I could feel this is so unfair. You know, I don't understand why I'm having to go through this. I don't understand why nothing's working. I haven't changed anything in my diet. Why is anything kind of bothering me? And then I was just, stop. You have a mattress. We slept on a mattress that was probably 25 years old until about 2 years ago, and we got a new mattress. You have a nice, fat, fluffy, comfortable mattress to lay your aching bones on. You have electricity to start that heating pad. You had the money to be able to go out and buy that Tylenol or whatever it looks like for you, Tylenol, ibuprofen, Motrin. You have a pillow, you have sheets and a blanket, and you are warm right now because you have heat. So it's focusing on that. And I know it's hard, friends. I know that it's hard. I have been and am there, right there with you. I'm not just saying this because I have no experience in what we go through. This is a day-to-day thing, and you can choose two things, right? You're gonna feel something one way or the other. So you can either choose to allow the negative to go on repeat in your head, or you can stop it and change to the positive. There's been days that the devil has attacked me so hard that I have just laid there in bed and repeated over and over and over, because it was almost like I could not move. I couldn't think of a scripture fast enough. I didn't feel like rolling over to turn the YouTube on to watch a teaching. I just repeated Jesus, 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 Jesus. And I might have laid there for 10 minutes repeating his name until I started feeling better. But you have to refuse. Is it fair that we have to fight this hard to have a mind that functions somewhat normally and lets us think about good things instead of bad? Of course not. I wish we were all healthy. That's why I don't get mad when people who do not have depression and anxiety comment and say some very insensitive things. I don't like hearing them, and they do hurt. They hurt. I mean, I'm human. They get to me, but I'm also happy for them, because I don't want anyone to have to deal with what we have to deal with. I don't want anyone to have to understand what we're going through. I want people to be have more apathy and be more sympathetic and more caring and love each other better. Yes, but I don't want you. I never would wish what we go through on anyone. I don't want you to ever have to go through this. Is it fair? No, I wish we didn't have to, but it is what it is, and I can either focus on the negative, which we know is going to bring us straight down to the bottom, or I can change our mind, we can change our minds and focus on, even if it's not a positive, focus on a truth. So even if you're at that place and you're thinking, listen, I haven't been out of bed in 3 days, you're just over here yakking, telling me life's wonderful, and no, I'm not. I've been there. I've been right where you are. I have been right where you are. And what I'm telling you is, if you don't fight, you have a choice. You can fight and feel bad, or you can fight and feel better. And I can't tell you how many times I have sat and prayed and said, I have no fight left. Lord, you have to do something. I have no fight left. I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting. What I'm telling you now is, these are the ways that got me from that state to where I am today. And I am not walking on rainbows and sunshine. Days are still a challenge, but it's getting better, because I'm making my mind up that I'm not going to focus on the negative. Again, whatever's right, whatever's pure, whatever's admirable, if there's anything excellent or praiseworthy, think about these things. Is it difficult sometimes? Yes, we know that. We all know that, right? We know how hard it can be when you haven't showered in 3 days and you've been literally laying in your bed, haven't brushed your teeth, haven't ate or ate way too much, and it hurts to move your arms, it hurts to move your legs. We all have been there. If the only thing you can do is say, Lord, I love you. Lord, I love you. Be with me. Hold me. Do that. It's better than allowing the devil to just run all over you while he's over here just laughing it up, having a big old time, and God's sitting right here beside you saying, I'm right here with you. I'm right here with you. And if you think he doesn't know what you're going through, he does. He knows every inch of it. And when you're in that spot, he is carrying you through. And I've said that on a lot of different videos, because I believe that with everything I have. When I'm in the depths of it, the only reason I come out of it is because God is carrying me at that time. So I also wanted to talk about too, I have some notes over here. We know, going through depression and anxiety, or if you don't, then I'll tell you now, that this is temporary. Does it ever feel that way when you're going through it? 110% no. No, it never feels temporary. It feels permanent. It feels forever. You have thoughts running through your head that I'm going to be this way forever. I'm never going to change. I'm never going to get better. This is always going to be this way. I'm always going to be having very detrimental thoughts. I try to choose my words lightly, because I don't want to trigger anyone on what I'm actually talking about. But if you know, then you know how low we can get to a point that we are just done. And if you've had depression and anxiety long enough, you do know that you will come out, right? It will come out to a better day. It might just be a day, it might be a week, it might be a month or 6 months, but it bobs and flows up and down. What is important is before you get here, when you're anywhere in this space above, is to start implementing things to make you not get all the way down to the bottom. It is temporary. understand this also, that I fought this disease for 27 years. So even though I know that it's temporary, it has in the past come back. And it seems like when it has come back that it's a little bit longer and a little bit harder. And that's where I finally broke. And I'm not saying I hadn't begged God to help me before, but all of me just ripped out. And I hit my knees and I said, you have got to help me. I can't go on anymore. That's the point that I had got to. And I had been there before and felt better, but then think, you know, and am I going to have another, not an episode, but another season of that? I'm going to speak that I'm not. I'm going to speak it out loud that I'm not going to go there again. If I do, I know that there's ways to start fighting it before it gets all the way to the bottom. And I know that no matter what, God is right there with me. I try to be very, very honest with my husband so that he knows, and knows that ways to help. Start praying for me. Start, you know, if there's a task that needs to be done around the house, just do it without me asking. If there's something that he can do that he can make it better, he knows to start doing that. And understand this though, it's not someone else's place to take all your pain and sorrow away. You have to do that, but others can be helpful in that event. I don't put my happiness and my joy on Nick. You know, I don't require and demand that he make me happy. We make each other happy because we love each other and we want to do right things for each other and we want to do good things for each other and helpful things. But it's not his job, it's not anyone else's job to make me happy or to make you happy. That's our job. And happiness is a moment. You know, you're happy when your kid hits a home run, or you're happy when you get a new vehicle, or you're happy when you get a new house, or happy when you get new clothing. Those are fading moments, but joy is something completely different, and that's what I finally found after all this time. And why I'm able to sit here and talk to you about a very raw subject, knowing that I can A, face a lot of criticism, B, being honest, coming from someone who's been completely embarrassed to talk about any of this, to letting everyone know about it. It's very vulnerable to do this, and the only reason I'm doing it is because I wish I'd have had somebody tell me their truth, and not a psychologist or psychiatrist who's never experienced it, who's been taught how to handle it, and taught how to teach you how to handle it, versus someone who's been through it and can tell me truths about it. I don't want to be sugar-coated. I just want you to tell me the truth. So we talked about, you know, we had an issue with our truck, and what does that look like? It's going to cost money. We finally figured out what was wrong with it. It's going to cost money. It's going to cost us not having an extra vehicle, which wasn't that big of a deal, but the money, it was right around Christmas, and, you know, organizing, getting it dropped off, getting it picked up, kind of things. What I chose to do was think that there would have been a time where I don't know what we would have done. I really don't, because affording, it ended up being $2,300 to be able to afford that we you know, we were eating peanut butter sandwiches once a day. So, you know, instead I changed my focus to A, God's in control of this period. B, you can handle this. You can handle this, and he's right there with you. Instead of thinking about all the negative, I controlled how I was reacting to the situation. And me, some time ago, reacting to it would have been over in tears, crying hysterically, not having any clue how we were going to be able to do this. This isn't fair. I knew life wasn't going to change. It was just going to get worse, and now it has. We're down a vehicle. What are we going to do? To know God's in control, and to be 100% honest, even if the truck was unfixable, we have a second vehicle. So we still had ways to get to and from where we needed to go. And it's about changing the way you react to something. Like, even when we went to a grocery store not long ago, and the clerk didn't say hello, how are you, didn't look up, just started scanning our groceries. It was busy and he didn't have anyone to help him bag, so I went down and I said, I'll get it, I'll bag. He just kept right on bagging, didn't look up, didn't speak. And I said, Nick said, I hope you have a better day. And we left, and at first I was like, that is so extremely rude to just be that rude. I offered to try to help you, and Nick said, you need to understand that he's having a bad day, and he doesn't need you or me to come down on him. And just automatically my reaction changed to, he could be me. He could be me right now, and just the very best thing he could do that day was to show up to work. And outside things coming in, just something that you just could not deal with. Understand too that no matter how much bad and negative is going on right now, there is some things that are going right as well. Now, it might be harder to understand those, or harder to pinpoint those or pick those, but again, you have to change your thoughts, change your mind to a better experience, and think of anything or something that's going right. You know what you should probably be happy of is that when you go to the bathroom, you have toilet paper. That's one thing to be happy about. Not only just in the US that we're blessed that we have toilet paper, but we're also blessed that we're not having a shortage of it at the moment. And there's lots of people that would love toilet paper and have no idea what it even is. So if you have to break it down to that level, break it down. Ask for help. There are times when why communication is so important is I can sit here and I can be dealing with what I'm dealing with in my own space, and my husband doesn't understand what to do, how to help. He wants to help. Most people want to help, but if we don't speak it to them, then they have no idea. So maybe it's, I just need to be alone by myself for an hour. Just take the kids, take the dogs, go in a different room. I just need an hour to just be by myself. Just ask for help. People are there that want to help, but they don't understand how to help unless you communicate with them. And sometimes you can't communicate with them. So that's another thing. If when you're feeling decent, let them know, hey, listen, if you come home and or if I come home, whatever that looks like, and I'm having a season of depression and anxiety, here's what I need from you. Here's what would help me best. Be able to tell them that when you can actually communicate it. Because a lot of times when we're down in the depths, communication is just lost. Like we're tired. We don't want to talk. Nobody's going to get it, right? That's our thought. I'm tired of talking. Nobody understands. Nobody gets it. Nobody can help me. But if you tell them ahead of time, then maybe they can take small steps that just make you think, thank you. There's a lot of things that we are thankful for, but we might not even acknowledge that a lot of times. And it would be beneficial, I think, if we started to acknowledge the little things that make us thankful. Another thing is, whatever's happening in your life, is it going to matter tomorrow? Is it going to matter in a week from now, a month from now, or a year from now? Or are we getting all fired up and upset for something we're not even going to remember in a year? And that's happened to me a lot. And you know, just talking, especially when you're with a bunch of family and you're just all kind of sitting down talking, and Nick will bring up something, I'm like, I don't remember that. But I guarantee you that when I was going through it, it was horrible. It was horrific. It was never going to change, never going to get any better. Life was terrible. I couldn't. Why is this happening to me? We've been there, or maybe we're there right now, but you understand what I'm talking about. So I hope this video helps. I hope it gives you some peace and understanding. I always end my messages like this because I want you to get it and I want you to understand. God loves you. I love you. Your family loves you. Your friends love you. And you are needed here. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.